Mercury has just moved into Scorpio. We've got our moon in its waning period as we prepare for new moon. And we've got a whole lot of hot energy right now, my friend. Welcome to this week's Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of November 6th through November 12th. We are here to talk all about what is going on in our sky right now, how you can use this period to work through any challenges that you may be facing, give you some insights into what you may be feeling or experiencing, and then be able to navigate through that. So, if we have not met, if this is your first time here on the channel, hey, nice to meet you. Danny C. Mooney's here, your spiritual healer, helping you consciously manifest through healing your past, present, and future. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. Thank you for returning. I love you, my friend. I've been hearing from a lot of you in different situations and circumstances that have been talking about the channel and talking about these videos. And so I am so blessed and so honored that you are watching these videos. Sometimes you put videos out and you don't know, is anybody on the other end watching them? is it actually helping you, right? And so it's been really great to hear from you. So if you have not come across me and you want to tell me something, I'd love to hear it. I'd really, really love to hear it. There are days where I don't want to do these videos, but hearing your feedback and hearing you talk about how much these help you and how much you enjoy them really helps me keep going. So if you would do me a huge favor and just let me know down in the comments if you enjoy these videos or what you've been able to discover from listening to these, I would love to know. All right, my friend, that is me putting that out there for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's dive in because we've got a lot to cover. We are still in our Libra season. So in Sidereal Astrology, we are still in our Libra energy. You can see right down here that we are in, the sun is still in Libra. It's at 18 degrees. We have not moved into Scorpio yet. We do have some stuff going on here we're going to talk about. So let's go ahead and dive right in with our sun. So as I stream this back for you, you can see there's a couple of different things that are happening here. First off, we have the sun who is conjunct Mars. And so they've been conjunct for a bit. They are going to, we'll see if I advance this forward, we'll see they get a little close and then they get kind of far away. So they're just going to do this dance for quite a while. So I just want to kind of give you that. And then you saw here on the our moon and Mars conjunct, but you see they're getting closer and closer, but they're just like kind of hanging out right here until the 17th of November. We're going to have them at their full conjunction and then they will start to separate. Okay. But they're still going to be hanging out pretty close. They're doing a little dance here. And the sun will start to pull away, but they're going to be together for a bit. So I want to kind of give you that, as a forecast here of kind of what's happening with that energy. So let me just talk a little bit about what that energy is as I come back to our current day here, Monday. So the sun conjunct Mars is those two energies they're hanging out, right? The sun is at home, Mars comes, knocks on the door, and now they're hanging out together, right? And so there's a lot of abundant energy and initiative energy. So getting things started, getting things moving, like really hot type energy here, which is one of the reasons why I said at the top of this, there's a lot of hot energy, not just because of this, but there's some other things that are happening that I'll talk about in just a second. So this energy can cause, right, some irritation, some annoyance, some impatience, and it really needs to be released constructively. So you'll want to find an outlet, right? Not yelling at the dog, not yelling at your partner, not yelling at your friends, not yelling at your coworkers, right? Because we see that out there. This is finding a physical activity. So I'm somebody that doesn't like the word workout, doesn't like the word exercise, doesn't really fit well with me. But I can take Jake, my pug, for a walk, right? To release anything that may still be brewing within inside of me, or something that may have been triggered by something I saw, something that happened to me, something, right? Something I experienced. I can go for a walk. I can release it in that energy. Or I can, I like to do yoga every once in a while. So I will maybe get on the mat and start doing some yoga, right? It's an activity where you're moving your body through the emotion. So somatic exercises are amazing for this. So if you're somebody that is into that type of work, I would highly recommend looking for some of that work. There's lots of great practitioners out there, and there's also really good YouTube videos out there that you can use to kind of help do this. Breath work is also really good. And I would look for more breath work with fire energy, because this is what this is. It's a lot of fire energy. And so ways that you can kind of cool down that fire energy would be really, really helpful during this period. And so this period is going to go for at least the next month into December. So I want to just kind of like keep that in mind, that you're going to have this energy in the kind of playing in the background as we move from Libra to Scorpio, which is going to get a little bit more intense there when we move into Scorpio, because Scorpio is a much more intense and deep sign. Libra, it's still kind of, it's not as the flame hasn't truly been ignited. Like, it's simmering right now. But as soon as we hit Scorpio, it is going to ignite even further. So really good opportunity for you to get some really good self-care practices in. If you have the Peloton, get on the Peloton, right? If you just need to go for a walk, go for a walk. If you need to go swing on the swings, my friend, your inner child would love that. Go swing on the swings. Get out and move your body in some way. If you get into earth, if you can ground into earth with the bare feet on the earth for at least a few minutes, just to connect in, and you can even imagine just releasing that energy down into Mother Earth. Don't worry, you're not going to harm her. She is super powerful, and she can take that energy and transmute it into something even better. So we have that happening, okay? Now let's look at this right here. We have this opposition with Jupiter. So this actually is going to fall off here, and I want to move forward because it's going to fall off, and then we're going to see this energy with Uranus come in. So I did talk about, I think in the last video, about this opposition with Jupiter. So you can either go back and listen to that, but this is kind of expanding, right? Everything that I just said, it's kind of expanding everything. And so now that we're bringing this Uranus energy, which we're going to see here on the 8th, which I believe is Wednesday, you'll see this on the 8th, that is going to kind of push this even further. So I'm going to ask you to be very, very mindful of this energy starting on the 8th. Because Uranus is bringing in change. And so I want you to think about this, and I'm going to stop my screen so I can see you, even though I can't see you, but I can see you. At least that's what I tell myself in my head. When we're already having this buildup of tension, we're already having this kind of frustration, and there's some irritability here, and that hot energy I was talking about. Now Uranus coming in, and Uranus is known for change, for rapid change, for unexpected change, for just throwing a wrench, right? Like, you might be plugging along, and then all of a sudden it's like, that's what Uranus does, which keeps us on our toes, which is great, right? And it helps us be more flexible and adaptable to the changing circumstances that we have. And when we are in a state where we are frustrated, irritable, and, trying to move through things, and this energy comes in of like, throw something at you, it could be a little bit more frustrating, right? Like, it's like you're already down, and now you just get kicked even further, right? It can feel like that. Now, my friend, all of this is for your greater self-awareness, your self-mastery. you becoming the master, right? Which is why I am firmly believe in being a conscious manifester, because we get to create our world. We get to create our reality, right? How we perceive everything is based on our own perception, what we see in the world. Nothing changes, but how we choose to interact with it. So having this information right now, getting this insights right here is giving you that ability to be like, okay, I know there's this energy that could be lingering. Is there anything within me that is unstable right now? Is there anything within me where I'm feeling frustrated? Do I have any tension? Is there tension in my home? Is there tension in myself? Is there tension in my relationships with my coworkers? If it is, what can I do to release that? What can I do to remove that energy from me so that I am not, right, experiencing that? Now, for somebody I was like, I'm not experiencing any of that, Danny. Like, I haven't had any, I don't feel frustrated with anything or irritable about anything. I haven't got triggered by anything. I'm like, I'm actually feeling really good. Like, this is interesting. How come I'm feeling really good? Great. Keep up your practices. Keep up your strengthen within yourself. Definitely do some journal on why everything is going really well for you, why things are really great for you right now. Like, take the moment to look at that, to make sure that you're not convincing yourself that anything isn't happening, because I want you to be, we don't want to we don't want false positive, right? We don't want that false positive energy. So just make sure that's happening. And then if you are, just keep with your practices, because even though you may not be feeling that, somebody may want or try to put that on you, right? It's kind of like the crab mentality idea. I saw this when I was in corporate, and I had totally shifted my perspective and my mindset about the world, about life, about what was going on. And, I had just such joy and happiness, even though, like, I loved my job. I didn't necessarily like the people, right? And the environment more so than anything, but I loved what I did. And so I was very happy and very excited walking into work. And, people would be like, can you turn the sunshine down? Right? Can you stop that? Like, you're just too happy. Can you just go away? Right? And it's like, okay. Right? People will, like, when they're in their own stuff, because that's what it is. They're in their own stuff, right? Had nothing to do with me, had everything to do with them. And so they're in their stuff. I don't have to take that on. And so that could be happening, right? They're wanting to kind of like, I need to bring you back. You need to come be with me, miserable here in this bucket. But we are conscious, my friends. We are conscious leaders. We are aware of ourselves. We are aware of our actions. We take pride, right? If I know you, you take pride in making sure that you are your best and highest self. So let's continue on, because we're going to have this. And I know this can appear in different ways for different people, right? Like, I can say I'm probably one that's like, I don't have any of that frustration or animosity or anger or any of that. I really don't have any of that. However, I know that that can come at me, and I can prepare for that. I can be ready for that and do my practices so that I am ready if something does happen. All right. So we're going to see this energy, and I just want to kind of give you some insight, is that this is really going to perfect on the 14th of November. So in sometime later next week, right? It's going to perfect, which means it's going to be at its strongest, and then it's going to dissipate. It's going to remove, and we will see that move within about 5 days after that, so on the 19th. So we'll see that kind of move out of it. But right now we're kind of building up to it, and then it's going to be at its peak, and then it'll diminish. Now, that's with the sun in Uranus. Now, Mars is going to be hanging out a little bit longer, and we'll see that all the way through till the 20th. So Mars actually just I think it was on Sunday, just moved into this position here with Uranus. And so this will move out. And like we see, the Jupiter moved out. So it's releasing a little bit of that, but we do still have this Uranus energy coming in. All right, so let's talk about our moon here. And our moon is right here conjunct Venus right now. It's just for this day here on the 9th. So I don't want you to think like, oh, just no, this is what happens. Is the moon moves around the chart throughout the month, right? So it's hitting different planets along the way, as you probably have seen in past videos. But the moon, I want to bring this to your attention because I've had a few people tell me like, oh, I'm really tired. And it's, yeah, some of it is this time change. Some of this is also the moon is in its waning period. It's actually waning crescent. And so it's the light is from the sun, right? It's preparing for a new moon. So it's diminishing, right? When the moon is waning, it's diminishing. And so we're preparing for new moon. And so this period is about 7 days. And our new moon happens on next Monday on the 13th. So the energy, the light, right, is waning. And so this is a time, this is a regenerative time. This is a time for reflection. This is a time for us to kind of look back at what our actions have been over the past 30 days, just kind of taking that review as we prepare. So this is a lower energy period. So keep that in mind that you might not be in your full expression right now. You might not be, you might be more tired. You might want extra sleep, right? This time change, it messes with us, right? It's not natural, right? We were on a cycle and then it gets disrupted. And so we have to regulate and get back on track. And so I also want you to keep that in mind. Now, I love this. I do love the daylight savings because it does help me reset to get back up earlier in the morning. But I do find myself really tired by the end of the day because the sun is gone, right? The sun has set, the moon is rising, and it's like, I just want to lay on the couch and go to sleep. So this week, our moon does kick off in the energy of Cancer. Well, it goes, let me be clear. It starts in Cancer and it moves into Leo. So we're going to see the Leo energy from Monday all the way through till Wednesday. And so Leo is our action energy. It's a fire energy. So there's that leadership, there's a little drama here. So there may be some drama that you experience, whether within yourself or others, but it's very creative energy. It's very playful energy. It's an opportunity for us to step up in our leadership. It's an opportunity for us to be visible. If you're a business owner, to be visible, to put yourself out there and just be visible, period. Whether you're a business owner or not, whether you're an entrepreneur, it's a chance for you to be seen, for you to be heard. And so this is why I say there could be a little bit of drama because maybe there is somebody who isn't feeling seen and heard and is expressing it through, right, this energy. Now moving into Thursday and through Saturday, we're going to move into, and I'll go ahead and move it forward here. We'll move into Virgo, and this is where we saw that Virgo conjunct Venus. So really, really nice day for some extra self-care, but also some money magic. So if you're somebody that works with magic, you might want to take a look at doing some money magic here on that day. Okay, so this is earth energy. So this is like getting into work. So maybe you've kind of put some things off and it's like, oh, I'll do that. I got to get to that. And it's like you've kind of been putting it off and putting off and putting it off. Earth energy is a really good time to kind of get into that work that you know needs to get done, but you kind of just been putting off. Virgo is also really good energy to look at your systems and your structures and things that you have in your life, whether it's your morning routine or your daily routines, your evening routines. It's a really good opportunity to look at like what's working for you right now. And because we just had this time change here, it also is an opportunity for you to look at like, well, what does my routine look like now with the sun, rising earlier and setting earlier. Like, what does that look like for my new schedule, right? And then on Sunday, so our final day of the week here on Sunday, we'll see that the moon moves into Libra as it prepares for new moon on Monday. So our new moon is in Libra this coming Monday. The new moon will be in Libra, and then later on in the week, you will see we will move into Scorpio. So that is where our moon will be. Now, I do have a couple of other things that I want to talk about, just kind of also adding into this energy. So I first want to come over here to Mercury and take a look at Mercury. I'm going to pull back to beginning of this week here. So we have Mercury who moves into Scorpio here. And I want to talk a little bit about what Mercury and Scorpio is, because Mercury is our planet of communication, thinking, right? It's our thoughts. It's all that mental energy. And so when we look at our own Mercury, right, we can see that that's how we communicate, that's how we process information, that's how we look at information, right? We can use that as the sign, as the planet and the sign, and then where it's at in your chart, what house, to kind of understand a little bit more about how you communicate and how you think. Now, when the planet, though, Mercury, moves into Scorpio, just like when our sun will move into Scorpio, it is illuminating that energy. And so Scorpio is a very deep, intense zodiac sign, and it's all about uncovering what is hidden. And so we've kind of been in this, when Mercury's in Libra, it was this flowing and balancing and beauty. And it's just really like the negotiator, and we could negotiate things and we could see both sides of things. And there's a fair bit of optimism here, right? Really nice light energy. It moves into Scorpio and it's like deep and it's dark. It's the muddy waters. So this energy is where we want more deeper conversations. Like, I don't want to talk about the weather. I want to talk about what you're challenged with right now, right? Somebody, one of my former mentors texted me yesterday, and she was like, what's your next business breakthrough? And I was like, okay, we're going there, right? Like, it's not a like, what's going on in the business? It's like, what's your next business breakthrough? Like, she's a Scorpio too. So it's definitely a deeper conversation. It's a deeper understanding, a deeper looking into. And so this period, we can be very, very focused, which I'm looking forward to. For one, Libra energy for me is very chaotic. It's kind of all over the place. I feel overwhelmed. I can't focus. I'm like, I have a bunch of things going on. I have a bunch of screens. I have my phone. It's a lot, right? It feels very chaotic for me as an earth sign. It might not feel like that for you, but it feels like that for me. Earth and water generally tend to feel that way during air. But when we move into the water, right, it's going to focus us in. And Scorpio is so good at like narrowing in, focusing in, so much so that it obsesses over things. It can get so focused and obsessed on something that it's like a dog with a bone. It can't shake it. It won't let go of it. It's just going to keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. So it's trying to get to the heart of the matter. It is trying to get to that bottom point of like, what is this? What is going on? So if there's things that you've been curious about, or things that you've been wanting to learn, or things that you want to, like, you're ready to dive deeper into, right? Maybe you've got like the level 1 and you want to go like level 10, right? This is the time to do that. Also, I would say, because this is a collective energy, everybody's kind of in this energy. So look for things to kind of be unearthed, things to come out, to become exposed. Okay. Especially when our sun moves into Scorpio, even more so this season. We'll talk about that when the sun moves in there, but there's a lot of like things coming unearthed over this next month. So keep that in mind. The other really cool thing about this energy is that it's a water energy. So it's super intuitive energy. And so my fellow empaths, healers, intuitives, psychics, those that are connected, right? That sense things, that know things. And even if you're not somebody that identifies that as that, but you might be kind of like sensing things, this really is a really good time for us to connect in with our intuition and to like notice different ways that it is coming through for us. We all have our five senses and we all receive information through those five senses. So even us as empaths, right, we might just know something in our head because we enter an environment. We might feel something in our body, right? We might see something in our mind and just gives us some indication. So pay attention to your clairs over this next period because there could be some information coming through. And so Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio will be from November 6th all the way through till November 26th. So right through Thanksgiving. And then it's going to move into Sagittarius where we will be preparing for a Mercury retrograde in December. So I want to give you that now. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to it. But if you're somebody who is sending holiday gifts, send them early. I'm just going to say that. Send them early. All right. So a couple of other things that you see here that I wanted to point out, and this is only going to be here for a little bit of a blip, is this energy here with Saturn. We've got what's called a square to Saturn here. And the square is allowing us to do some hard mental work. So this period of Thursday through Saturday, like if you've got some work that you need to get done, this is a really good time to do it, to get into doing it, because you can really get into the work. It's best if you're alone. It's best if you can have some quiet time to just like focus in. Like during this time, I like to go to a coffee shop, put on some headphones and just like zero in on what it is I'm doing. I can get so focused in and I get so much work done. I love it. So if you can, if you're local and you find me at a coffee shop this week, that's probably why. But here's the other part of this: negative thinking and even misunderstandings. So, I realized I wasn't sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. So when we have, my computer doesn't want to let me share my screen. Okay, so when we have this connection with the Mercury and Saturn, Mercury square Saturn, Saturn can be like the dark cloud over our head. You might have heard me say that before. It's a little bit more depressing, right? It's very responsible, is what I want you to think of this energy. So Saturn tends to get a bad rap, but it really is just that, like mature adult, like being responsible. And there's nothing bad about being responsible, but sometimes those responsibilities can feel really heavy or really weighing on us. And so this isn't a time where we're really going to be focusing on details. It's kind of like we're just kind of going right with the flow. And just like getting into things that we're just trying to get work done and like check it off the to-do list, right? That's Saturn energy. Like let's check things off our to-do list. Let's move things forward, right? It wants to move things forward, but it doesn't really take into account the little details. It doesn't, I'm going to ask you to slow down during this period, which is the 6th through the 14th. So this week and into next week, to just kind of slow down, take time with any important decisions that you're making. Just see it through. Like, don't just focus on the negative aspect of it. Look at what it's going to bring to you. What's the possibilities here? What's the opportunities here? And just kind of weigh through that. Okay. Because you might want to get really focused in on one aspect of this. All right. The only other thing that I wanted to show you and talk about today is this. Wait, did I cover them all? I think I did cover them all. Oh, no, I didn't. Venus and Mercury. So the other one I wanted to talk about was Venus and Mercury. So Venus sextile. I'm glad I have notes because sometimes I forget I can't handle all of this in my head. So I have notes. So thank goodness for my notes. Venus sextile Mercury right here. Venus sextile Mercury is started at the very beginning. So it started last month, the very beginning of the month, and it is moving all the way through. It'll be in this energy all the way through the middle of December. So we've got a nice long period with this Venus and Mercury energy. And I want to give you this as the little bow on the top because this is really great energy. So this is us wanting to be in a more harmonious environment with less stress, just having fun, hanging out, creating win-win scenarios, creating, resolving conflict, and just feeling really good. Just so I want you to also know that even though this other stuff is kind of hanging out in the background, it's like the backdrop. Venus and Mercury are like hanging out, wanting to bring in this really beautiful energy of just like love and harmony and peace and balance. And so we have that energy coming through, so we can pull into that energy, we can lean into that energy as we may be going through some of the challenges and struggles that this particular week and couple of weeks are bringing into our world, my friend. All right, so that is our sidereal astrology forecast for the week of November 6th through the 12th. We will kick off next week with our new moon in Libra. And later on that week, we will move into Scorpio season. So keep a lookout for all of that coming soon. Also, if you have not grabbed our Libra guidebook, every single month I put out a zodiacal monthly guidebook that has all the information about this current season. It talks about the Libra energy this month. It talks about some of the things that are happening, some of the shifts that are happening this month with Libra. It also gives you some crystals that you can work with and some essential oils that you can work with this month to help move through this energy. And so we'll have a new one coming out for Scorpio season. So if you want to get that, get on the list now. You'll get the Libra book, and then you will automatically get the Scorpio one when it comes out in the next week or so. All right, my friend, that is it for us today. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Get out there and move this hot energy, let it go, get into some really good self-care practices to keep yourself sane. And remember, it's usually about them and it's not about you. Close your eyes with me and let's take a deep breath and release. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale and release. And one more time. Inhale and release. My friend, remember to find peace.